A new era will begin in Washington as President-elect Donald Trump takes office. But long before Trump announced his candidacy, a hedge fund manager named Robert Mercer saw the opportunity for an outsider to win the White House. Now the Mercer family look poised to remain influential Trump insiders. Who are they and what do they want? Wall Street Journal assistant news editor Keach Hagey joins us now to discuss. Hi, Keach. Great to see you here.
Great to be here.
First off, who are the Mercers? Give us Robert's story in a nutshell, if you will.
So Robert Mercer is a numbers guy, a really sort of quiet, kind of computer nerd guy who got into computer programming early, had a career at IBM, and then went and co-founded Renaissance Technologies, a wildly successful hedge fund that is really data-driven and made $1 bazillion doing that.
Did he always have a certain political inclination that he made public?
Not so much. I mean, yes, there were friends that said, he thought that Bill Clinton was a crook.
Right.
So, we knew what side of the spectrum he was on, but he's not a very loud guy. He's famous for sitting through meetings without saying a word. So his political activity only sort of emerged around 2010, 11, and really after 2012, after those midterm elections, where he and then his daughter, his middle daughter, got really involved in conservative causes.
Right. In 2011, he bought almost 50% of Breitbart News, correct?
Exactly, right.
And then he and his wife, Diana, emerged as the third largest GOP donors in the 2016 election. Is that right? We have a chart kind of showing how much money they spent. So they sort of came a little bit quietly in the forefront because they had supported Ted Cruz initially, correct?
What's so interesting about them is that they are more interested in shaking up Washington and of sort of throwing all the corrupt politicians out on both Republican and Democratic sides than about following one particular person. So they had, funded Ted Cruz super PACs. They were really supporting him. And then as his star kind of began to dim, they just took that whole apparatus that they built and put it behind Trump at the last minute.
And it seems they really had a hand in reinvigorating his campaign, didn't they?
Yes. One of the sort of most amazing things is right at the end, Trump got a new campaign manager and got totally new leadership in August. Kellyanne Conway and Steve Bannon were placed atop Trump's campaign for that final push, both Mercer confidants.
Both Mercer insiders who now have pretty influential roles in the incoming Trump administration.
Right.
So this brings us all to the question about what do they want? I mean, does Robert Mercer want to be the ambassador to France?
Right. Absolutely not. People who talk to them say, they're not interested in that. When politicians call their house, they don't drop everything. They just think like, oh, what do they want now?
Right.
So specifically policy-wise, what they want has always been sort of a head-scratcher for even people who work closely with them. People say that they want influence. They've been really savvy in kind of going around the typical paths to getting it. Not just funding super PACs, not just donating to candidates, investing in media. They've invested in this thing called Cambridge Analytica, which is like a data provider that a lot of campaigns that they funded hired. And so now they have all this rich data at their disposal, which they're very likely to put toward
very interesting
Trump in the future.
But in terms of any policies, tax reform, education, et cetera, they haven't come out publicly and made a push towards any specific one policy.
No, they're very quiet, although they are very conservative.
Right.
So we know that Rebecca Mercer pushed for Jeff Sessions, for example, to be Attorney General and did not want Mitt Romney, a more establishment kind of moderate candidate, to be the Secretary of State. So that gives you a flavor.
They clearly have the ear of the president-elect.
Absolutely. I mean, Rebecca Mercer is in Trump Tower working out of Steve Bannon's office when she's there, and she's on the transition team. And, they're going to be, the president-elect gave us a quote praising them for the story.
It does seem, though, that they want to remain under the radar. They did not want to comment for this article that the Journal ran, correct?
Absolutely. They're very, very under the radar. You will not see them, giving big speeches or anything.
So I guess it'll be up to the journalists to figure out what exactly is going on. All right, Keach Hagey, thank you so much for that.